How goes it, ladies and gents? Got another tier list today. Actually, two tier lists. Difficulty of the NightLords and how fun the NightLords are to fight. And of course, that's a little subjective. The difficulty is more objective. This is who I've killed, this is who I haven't killed. I've attempted all of them, of course, as well as just because I haven't beaten them doesn't mean they're easy or hard or whatever you might think. But because teammates can make a massive difference. Being the last one up in, like, for example, Sentient Pests, I don't think he's the hardest. I've maybe fought him the most and failed. Just that's because every run I have, my teammates just die instantly. Randoms are good, bad, you never know. So before I rate any of these, I gotta give a baseline as to what I'm rating them to. Should I rate them to the Elden Ring game, like the actual base Elden Ring game? Should I rate it to the DLC in Elden Ring? Or should I rate them to one, among themselves for NightReign? I don't think any of these guys are like as hard as Consort Radahn or Melania. Well, some of them might come kind of close, but I'm gonna rate them as to one another. So if you see me throw someone in like S tier difficulty, it doesn't mean they're harder than Consort Radahn or Melania from actual, the latest Elden Ring. This is among themselves. I've beaten Consort Radahn in New Game Plus 7. It was hell. I never want to do it again. But anyways, with that being said, compared to one another, this is how I'm rating them. So Tricephalos, the dogs, not really that bad. Not insanely aggressive compared to some other bosses. The attacks are kind of easy to see coming, like a fire breath, or he lunges at you, or tries to bite you. No, like generally not massive AOE's other than the fire, but even those aren't too bad to dodge. Uh, kind of hard, but not near the top in my opinion. Now we got Gaping Jaw. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of want to throw him an S, maybe A. He's tough. He is hyper aggressive. There is very little time where he's not actively attacking someone. And his grab attack is sometimes really tough to get out of. It's like he's got his mouth opens up and he tries to go for you. If you're trying to fight him solo, I have not tried to fight him solo. This would probably be literal hell with how aggressive he is. With a team, it's more manageable. But compared to the rest, it's tough. It's like it's the perfect in between A and S. He's tough, but he's not really impossible. I'm gonna leave him in A for now. I might change my mind. Sentient pests, meh. They're somewhat hard. Not as hard as him. Not really super weak. Solid B tier. Solid B tier. They are. Their attacks are. Yeah, yeah. I just got no words. I don't really like fighting them. I'm not gonna lie. They'll just be stuck in B tier. All right, now we got Augur, C tier. So it depends. It really depends. If your team has essentially no range, you have no spellcasters, and you don't have an Iron Eye, he could be an A or S tier, just because he is never on the freaking ground. He is never on the ground, so good luck getting any damage in at all. His attacks are super easy to dodge, like the waves he kind of throws at you, the nuke he drops. He's pretty easy. The little enemies he spawns across the arena. He's pretty easy to fight if you can damage him while he's in the air, which is definitely doable. There's 4 people that have good ranged capabilities in the game, so just keep that in mind. He's going to be up in the air and flying away from you and such. But if you can damage him in the air, he's pretty easy. I'm not gonna lie. Equilibrious Beast. He's also up there. So I fought him the least out of all of them. However, at times, he feels like a bullet hell where you're getting hit by one bullet, you lose all of your health. Like, he feels pretty tough. My thing with Gaping Jaw is he's only on one person at a time, really. I mean, he has some AoEs, but his big AoEs are pretty easy to dodge. The Equilibrious Beast, he's a bullet hell. He throws, like, projectiles all over, and he could be hitting, like, the entire team, and those projectiles can deal really high damage. Which is why I think I'm gonna put him up here. And keep in mind, it's like, he's not harder than Consort Radahn. He's probably just the hardest, if not one of the harder ones in NightReign specifically. Now we got Dark Drift Knight. This dude, A tier. He's pretty aggressive. He's fairly tough. He's not as hard as Gaping Jaw, in my opinion, but he's not as easy as either of these two. So I think A is a relatively solid place for him to be. Fissure in the Fog. I mean, he just feels like Elden Beast at times, where half the time you're spent running, half the time you're actually able to hit him. Because he's got two attacks where he just disappears. So, I mean, I haven't beat him yet, of course. It's a matter of, like, I feel like with this guy, it's like attrition. How many flasks can he drain from you with the massive AoE ice stuff? Because when you get close to him, his attacks really aren't that bad. But if you're getting caught by the AoE ice stuff, it can be kind of rough. He'd be between like A and B, maybe on like the lower side of A. No, I think like high B. He's not really that terrible. And finally, we got the night aspect, the final in the game. In terms of how hard, I did him first try actually. I mean, we had a pretty good run. Wasn't the best run I've ever had, but we had a pretty good run, and I was able to learn and pick up his attacks pretty quickly. In terms of how hard he is, hmm, actually, looking back at it, I would I put him above Gaping Jaw? Hmm. His attacks come out quite quickly, and spoiler warning, I'll put some footage up now. But if you don't want to see the footage, say because he's really cool. You might want to save it for when you just play it. But he can attack quite quickly in like kind of small AoEs with his sword. He got me pretty good a lot of the time. I don't. Yeah, I think he's aggressive but not oppressive, like the bullet hell that is the beast. I feel like I feel like that's pretty fair. All right, so here we are on the fun tier list. How replayable or not replayable, but how fun do I think this fight is? Um, I'll go ahead and start with one specifically that I freaking despise. I hate this boss so much. Augur. It is so boring. The attacks are very easy as long as you like once you've learned them, the attacks are quite easy to deal with. He just sits in the air, he just goes in the air and like runs away from you. That's how he feels. He's untouchable. Like if you're playing a raider, good luck. Good luck doing anything to him. It's and every time I fought him, I'd heard that he's just in the air all the time, so I've fought him with a ranged character every time. So I've never had that issue, but it's just not very fun. Sentient pests, they're kind of cool, I guess. They're see for me, there's I don't find them very fun. Like where they combine and they start doing attacks, and there's two of them. It's just kind of yeah. I don't find their fight particularly fun. We got the Fissure in the Fog. I I think this fight is cool mainly for the aesthetic, not the moves. If it were based on the moveset, it'd be a C or a B. But I think the music is nice in the arena. The four wings look really good. Some of the attacks look very good. I mean, like there's a difference between an attack looking cool and dodging the attack feeling good. Like there's a distinct difference. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put him in A with a little bit of bias because I love the aesthetic of the boss, but realistically, for a lot of people might probably put him in like a C or a B. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, Equilibrium Beast. He's a bullet hell. Bullet hells are kind of fun games. He's tough. I put him in a B. I'd fight him again, but he's definitely not my favorite. Tricephalos, the dogs. Eh, nah. They're cool. They split apart. Their attacks are rather basic. I mean the chain, like the sword with the chain attached to it, him swinging that around, that's really cool. I wish he did so much more of that, but he actually does that very little compared to the rest of his moves. At least when I'm maybe his AI is just like not giving me that tax. But the coolest thing, which would be the chain and the sword and him splitting apart, he doesn't do it as much. Specifically the chain and the sword. So if he did it more, it'd be a much cooler fight. But C for me. All right, now we come to. I really like these three, which is why I saved them for last. I'm gonna go ahead and put Dark Drift Knight in S. I love fighting him. He's a lot of fun. He, like, if watching someone fight him and fighting himself feel very, very different. Push the dog down. Anyways, moving on to Gaping Jaw. He's really cool. He's hyper aggressive. His attacks are dope. If you've ever played Monster Hunter, he feels like something straight out of Monster Hunter. He's a lot of fun to fight. I really enjoy him. On the flip side, he's very aggressive, and because of that, you may hate him, but I love him. Now we got the Knight aspect. Just the aesthetic in the arena when he warps the background, and the phase 1 versus the phase 2. Oh, spoiler. Not kind of, not really. No other bosses have it, but he's also pretty cool. I think that was a very, very fun fight. In my opinion, I love to fight these three. This guy freaking sucks. Anyways, that pretty much wrap up the tier list. I will say, if you've played Elden Ring NightReign, excuse me, and never played actual Elden Ring, I would say is more fun because you have more big bosses. Like these 8 big bosses. Imagine, like, I believe there's 15 remembrance bosses in Elden Ring. So imagine 15 bosses kind of like this. And actually a couple of them are in NightReign that you've probably already fought. So Elden Ring and Elden Ring's DLC are really good if you haven't played them. Would highly recommend it. But in terms of Elden Ring being replayable, I think NightReighn's a little more playable, even though it has its replayability issues, which I'm going to make a review. A lot of people don't like its replayability, but it is more replayable than actual Elden Ring, in my opinion. I mean, I've also played a lot of actual Elden Ring, so maybe a little bit of bias. Anyways, and that's going to wrap up the video. None of these guys are insanely hard, but they're pretty hard. I imagine solo, they're probably a bit harder when all the aggro's on you, especially with some of the hyper-aggressive bosses, like Gaping Jaw. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. I would massively appreciate a like and sub. It would help me out tremendously if you want to see more content such as this. I also do cover other games, so look out for that in the future. And I wish you a good day. Bye.